welcome to another edition of Corey's in the Kitchen. So glad you're joining us. Hopefully you've watched my other videos and you enjoyed them enough to be able to come back and say hi again. We're going to try to do a quick recipe for you today. It's going to be Za'atar bread, or as I used to call it, manaish. So, what is Za'atar? Za'atar is a spice blend of a roasted thyme, a sumac, a little bit of oregano, with some roasted sesame seeds in there. Looks like this. It's kind of got a greenish hint to it. They do have a red Za'atar as well that's a little more sumac heavy as opposed to thyme heavy. I prefer the green. I think it has a little bit better taste. So, story about this. This seems to be what I ate almost every day growing up in Syria. We had a bakery down the street, and my mom would basically mix the Za'atar and the oil together, give it to me. I'd run down to the bakery, hand them the bowl of the stuff. They'd put it on bread, bake it, give it back to me, and I'd run back home, and we'd have that for breakfast. It's a great breakfast food. If you have it hot, if you want to have it cold as a snack later, that also works.
It's basically good anytime.
Oh yeah, it's basically good anytime. Now you can eat Za'atar in one of two ways really. Well, first it is a blend of spices. You can add it to just about anything. I typically eat it in one of two ways, either as manaish, like I'm going to make today, on dough and then in the oven for a little bit, or you can mix the Za'atar and the oil, get some pita bread and use it as a dip, or even, you know, some Italian bread or French bread or baguette. Anything really you can dip in it. Tastes absolutely delicious. So what do we need? Well, we need the Za'atar. Obviously, I have about 6 tablespoons of Za'atar in here and a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. You can add a little bit of salt in there to mix it up. The Za'atar that I got this time was already a little bit saltier than normal, so it's not going to need the salt on it. Za'atar is a little bit hard to find, again, in small areas. Middle Eastern markets would have it, world markets. I had to order mine online because we didn't have a chance to run to a big city recently. So, if you're wondering what's on my apron, it is my name. H-A-N-N-A. It's pronounced Hanna, or most people call me Hanna here. It's not Hanna. It's missing the H at the end. It's Arabic for John, actually, and I was named after my grandfather. So that's the explanation behind the apron. So, without further ado, let's get cooking. Alright, so very simple recipe this week. I basically have my 6 tablespoons of Za'atar and my half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to dump it in here. And then I'm going to just mix it all up. Now, I forgot to mention that you also need dough to put this in. Again, I decided to buy my dough, frozen dough balls. If you want to go ahead and make your own from scratch, you are more than welcome to do that. I just find it a little bit more convenient to go ahead and buy it. The dough's already been rising for a while, so once I'm done mixing this up, I'm going to go ahead and bring the dough over here, roll them out into rounds, and then we'll add the Za'atar on there. These are going to bake in a 400-degree oven, so if you want to go ahead and start preheating your oven, that would also be a good idea. So once all the Za'atar and olive oil is mixed well, we'll go ahead and move it to the side, and we'll bring the dough out here to turn them into rounds. Okay, so I'm basically just rolling the dough balls into rounds, much like I did last week with the spinach pies. Only this time we're not going to be closing any of these. So just roll them out to a medium thickness, probably. Then once these are all rolled out, I'm going to go ahead and add the Za'atar mixture to it. And I'm probably going to just use my hand to spread it around evenly around. So I'll just continue rolling these out, and then I will come back and add the za'atar to it. Okay, now that I have my rounds, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the za'atar mixture in the middle, and then we're just going to spread it around with my hand, just to kind of get it evenly around. You want to go ahead and put some oil in the baking sheet that you're going to use. Just kind of grease it with oil ahead of time. And then I'll start getting some of these and stick them in there, and then we'll put them in the oven. Then you can use as much or as little as you want. If you want a thicker bit of za'atar on there, you can use a little bit more, or vice versa. So once you have it on there, just kind of rub it in, just to where it's kind of evenly all around. Either way, it's going to taste absolutely delicious. So I'll just go ahead and finish off what I have over here. Alright, so after I got this spread out, I'm going to go ahead and transfer them to a oil greased pan. I've already put some into the oven. Again, 400 degrees. It's going to be in there. We're going to check on it about 10 minutes. These are going to be nice and crispy when they're done. So, and should be absolutely delicious. So like I said, there's one already in there, and we'll check on it here in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and load this up and stick it in as well. Alright, so now that they're on my pan, or on my baking sheet, I'm going to go ahead and stick it right in the middle rack. And so I'm going to let this in here. I'm going to check on it about 10 minutes or so. We'll check on the other one as well here in a little bit to see how it's doing. While they're baking, in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and roll a little bit more dough and make a few more. Alright, so we're going to check on these things and see how they're doing. The best way to find out how they're doing is to take a look at the bottom. Here's kind of what they're looking like now. And the bottom looks like it's finishing up. So it looks like these ones are done. Now don't be alarmed if you have big bubbles going on there. After all, it is dough, and the gluten in the dough will cause it to bubble up. Now if you have one that completely bubbles up, you can go ahead and pop it, that's okay. Otherwise it's completely normal. You can see a bunch of bubbles like this. So again, I'm going to check the bottom. Looks like the bottom is done as well. So these are done. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the dough that I have, throw them in the oven, and then I'll get these ready to be presented. Hey everyone, here's our finished product. Za'atar bread, or manaish. Have it for breakfast, have it for lunch, have it for dinner, have it any time of the day. It's going to be fantastic. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope your family enjoys it as well. Again, just smelling this brings back so many childhood memories. So, hopefully. So this was our 4th week of doing this, and so far all I've seen is Arabic food. We're probably going to be doing a reaction video for next week. And then after that, we're going to probably do some of Anne's, my lovely wife's family's recipes. That way you don't think that we're only doing Arabic food. We're going to do an assortment of foods. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it everywhere. Hope you enjoy it. And so until next time, keep it spicy.